In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create an email filter in your Thunderbird email client. And if you found this video on YouTube, I will provide a link below the video that has the step-by-step instructions for doing this procedure. Now, instead of me going through here and reading this and showing it to you, since it's an email filter, let's open up Thunderbird. So I'm going to click on my Thunderbird. It'll take a moment to connect to my internet provider and download the emails, which I've just did that basically before I started creating this, and I had several junk emails, so I thought this is a perfect time to show you how to create an email filtered. To start with, where it says antivirus, I know that each of these that are bolded are actually unwanted emails that I want to filter out. So let's go to the one I say notifications. So I'm going to double click onto it. Now by default, Thunderbird is going to block so the content's not being seen here. So what I'm going to do is to right click, and you can do two things. You can say copy the email address, and then you can go to messages and say create a filter from this message, and then you can name this whatever you want to name up here. I usually copy it, and a lot of times, since you see that it has junk, this is probably created from a spoofer, but if they ever try to use that same email address as a spoofer, then you could block it out or filter it out. And if you'd even like to go a step further, you could just copy out or knock out this part here, and instead of saying from is, you could say contains, and that way that anything that at the front of this, as long as it contains that, it would filter it out. But just be very careful when you're using the containing part, because you might filter out something that eventually someone from that domain might want to try to send you a message. So I'm just going to come up here, and since this is the filter rule, this is the name of it, I'm just going to shorten it so it won't look long in my list. And then here's the actual email. So I'm going to say planning at about you, and there's the real email. We're not going to shorten that down. Then I'm going to choose to manually run and say when I filter it, when I'm getting new messages, say match the following from is, and like I said, if you wanted to shorten that down, you could choose the contain or some of the other rules here. Then you can say move the message to, and I'm going to drop it down, and this is my internet provider from CTC, and I'm going to say the trash. Now you could put it in the junk or any other folder you've got created, but I'm going to say the trash because I have it set up to empty the trash every time I access the email. So hit trash, hit OK, and then it says filter name you entered already exists, so I've already created a filter for this name here, so I'm going to call this -2. The reason why that name is because this is a different address. So if I come up here, hit OK, hit run now, it's going to actually delete this message, so it went to the next message on the list. So that was one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is where you can double click on one, and instead of going messages, create filter from, you can do it all within the message here. You can say copy the email address, then right click again, create a filter from on the right click option menu, and then you can give it whatever name you want. See, there's another one of those about yous, so they're just using some sort of spoofer to generate a random thing here. So if I were to delete that and go about you, it'll say already one's created, and if I do -2, one will be already created. So I'll just leave this, and if it's already used that one, more likely that filter is for the same thing here. It just wasn't filtered out here. So I'm going to go choose from trash, hit OK, run now, and this automatically moves to the next one. So that way you can go through and filter out all of those the same way. So let me close out the filter. Another way that you can enhance your privacy and security with your emails after you create filters is you can go to your edit preferences and go to your privacy and security and change the settings as well. So we go to the edit preferences, so minimize this, go to edit preferences, and look at your make sure you got the tab privacy and security checked. You can say remember from the web contents, where it shows the web content, remember the websites and links that I visited, so that way that you don't have to have these, but the one that you want to make sure you do have checked here, those two is your preferences. Here is send websites do not track to signal that you don't want to be tracked. So if you highlight or open an email, you don't want to send back information that the email was open. So if someone generated an email address and when you open it, sends it back, they can sell it to a real user. So make sure that one is checked. And then scroll down to the section of junk. It says set your default mail settings account specific junk mail settings can be figured in account settings. When I mark messages as junk, I want them sent to the delete folder because I have it set when I open up Thunderbird, it empties out my deleted or trash bin. Then this one right here, this is optional. Mark message determined to be junk as read. Since you're going to delete them, that's optional. It can be, or you don't need to have that one checked. And then right here's the key thing right here. Enable adaptive junk filter login. So it kind of remembers the way that it's kind of remembering what you empty as junk. So over time it learns that if something comes through with certain types of things that you've labeled as junk, it will start doing it itself. And if for some reason it starts labeling something as junk, you can go to reset the training data, or you can show a log of the things that it's learning, or you can disable that altogether and just create a filter yourself. So those are ways that you can make your Thunderbird email client a little more secure, and so that it prevents a lot of junk or spam mail from reaching your inbox. Hopefully this video has been helpful, and have a great day.